Hey guys, what's going on? Sherman here. Got another great unboxing for you guys today. I was very fortunate to get this knife. It's practically a brand new knife. Not a whole lot of people have it right now. I noticed that really the only website I've seen that has this lately was Knife Art. I got this from the Kershaw guy, and you guys can do the same. Also, I'm not sure how many he has in stock. I'm just saying that's where I found it from. But more websites are starting to get it in stock. But like I said, I haven't seen many people who have this knife yet. Iceman, something or other. I can't remember the numbers in his name. I apologize for that. But I'll put a link, if I remember, to his channel in the description. But he had one, and he told me where I could get it. So thank you very much for that. That was a great help, and it allowed me to get this knife. So, no surprise, this is the brand new Zero Tolerance ZT-0566. And this is the budget version of the 0560 and 561 line. You know, the Hinderer flipper, the titanium frame lock. This is going to be a little bit different. So if you're not familiar with this knife at all, then I will, of course, go over it in this video. Let me cut it open. It's got a label on this side. I didn't take the time to cut it off. Sorry, I've been kind of absent in my video making lately, guys. I've been kind of preoccupied lately, and in a good way. But I'm not going to get into that in this video. I'll make a separate video talking about that. I've been kind of absent lately. Okay. Sorry, it's just kind of hard to do this on camera. So, this was in there. Alright. These are, I know like a lot of people when they get knives from the Kershaw store, stuff like that, websites like that, it's mostly blem knives, meaning they have blemishes, they're factory seconds. These are supposedly brand new, so they're not factory blems. So here we go right here. 0566. Very excited about this because I think this knife will solve a lot of the issues that I had with my titanium frame lock counterpart of this knife, as a lot of you guys know. Alright, let me move the camera down so you guys can see this better. Very excited about this one. I've been waiting for this one. I didn't do the pre-order. I don't usually like to pre-order knives. I just like to wait. Alright. It is smaller than I thought, which is alright. So as you can see, it's also scaled down from the 0560, because the 0560 is a big knife. Alright. Look at that. Isn't that nice looking? So it shares the same design as the 0560 and 561 line. Slightly different pocket clip. Obviously, it's a frame lock, but it is a stainless steel frame lock. It's not titanium. So, you know, I should not have any of the lockup problems that I had. The blade is much, much thinner. That's actually a really thin blade. A lot more thin than I thought. The centering is great. The G has just regular G10. It's actually really nice, grippy G10. It's how can I compare it? It's better than the Skyline. It's better than, you know, the Spyderco Tenacious and all those cheaper knives. It feels a lot more on par with the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, which it should be in this price range. I paid $144 for this shipped. Great price. But same exact design features. You know, it's not the 3D machined, meaning it's not contoured, but that's okay. Alright, it's also an assisted knife. So let's fit it up. It's a little tight right now, but man, look at that. Great ergonomics, just like its bigger counterpart. Good, really good jimping. Really good. It's a little slippery, maybe just because it's a little oily and I may be catching that Band-Aid a little bit. But I definitely like that over the extremely thumb-abrading, you know, terrorizing jimping of the 560. Lockup, absolutely perfect, because it's stainless steel. Lock geometry is great. Let's lock up on that. So the action feels really good. Like I said, it is brand new, so it's a little stiff. But what was really intriguing about this, what really made me want to get this knife, well, A, is because I kind of missed my 560. If you guys don't remember, I sold mine just because I was tired of its issues. But I started to miss its design. I started to miss its feel and everything like that. So I really wanted this. But what really sealed the deal for me is that this particular knife, and also their budget version of the 777, the 0577. Was it the 057? No, it was the 05770, which has aluminum scales. It's a stainless steel liner lock. Also assisted, it's scaled down just like this one. So it's the more budget friendly version of it. Both of these knives have a detent hole in the blade. So that's also where some of this tension's coming from. So I'm going to immediately de-assist this knife because I do not prefer assisted opening knives. So what's great is that Zero Tolerance finally listened to their customers and started to realize most people would rather have a manual flipper and not an assisted knife. So that's great. But if you want an assisted knife, that's perfect. Leave it how it comes. And it is very snappy. It's great action, like I said, because it does have a detent hole. It takes a little bit of finesse to get that out of there. Like I said, it's also probably the pivot's probably tightened down. Like I said, I'm going to immediately de-assist this and see how it flips. I can't right now. I'm in the shed, and I did not bring my torque set with me. I don't keep a torque set out here in the shed. Those are all in my room. So anyway, let's take a closer look at it. I did want to mention that these have the detent hole. So you can de-assist these and they'll be just like a manual opening knife. But please reference Iceman's videos on that because I think he did a full review of the 770. I don't think he's reviewed this one yet, but he has both and he compared both to each other. So anyway, deep carry clip, blackened, not the best. I preferred the clip that was on the original 0560, but I understand, it's probably a much more expensive clip. They put this clip on a lot of different knives, but it's a deep carry clip. It's black. It'll work. I like it. Black hardware. It's a nice, I don't know if I mentioned this already, nice stone wash finish on that stainless. I like it. Of course, stone wash on the blade also. Elmax steel. So you do get a really good quality steel with this knife. USA Elmax is the serial number. I didn't know they made that many already. Lock bar stabilizer. Looks to be about the exact same size as the Cryo, so a 9mm would fit. It's got that really nice lanyard. Got a lanyard notch. Really nice G10 on that. Pretty good size stop pin, but the stop pin only works for when the knife is closed. The thumb studs act as the blade stops on this knife, just like in the 0560. You have some jimping down here by the lock bar, makes it very easy to disengage. Like I already showed you the centering. The centering is not really an issue for me, but it's really nice. Something also that I noticed about this one in particular is that the flipper is a little shortened, because obviously this is a little bit more scaled down knife. But the flipper is shortened, and it also doesn't have that jimping on the back, which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look up pictures of the 0560 and 561. They all have the jimping on this side, which, when the blade is open, it's right here, which makes absolutely no sense. Nobody's going to put their finger right there. It was just kind of there. If anything, the jimping should be right there. But what happened was you had jimping and you had cuts made in here. And what it does when they put the cut right there, it added a kind of a sharp piece right at the very top where you place your finger to try to flip it. But what that did was, I could flip it without any problem. I could flip it for hours, but you did kind of feel that little sharp corner a little bit. And also the problem was when people would flip it, their finger would come down and they'd always abrade their fingers on that really rough cut jimping. So this jimping is rough, but it's just rough enough to grab your thumb, but it's not so rough that it's, ripping into it. So it's the perfect combination. The Ergos are incredible. They feel great. It's not an overly thick knife, but also it's not an overly thin knife. I think it's just the right thickness. Has those really nice standoffs. I think these are the same exact standoffs used in the 560. So you have that advantage. You have those big, nice standoffs, which I love. Nice blade shape. Like I said, obviously scaled down. Feels great in all grips. But yeah, like I said, the flipper just feels a little bit better. Look at that tang. Geometry is great. I think that ZT has improved their geometry with their 0560 line. Because, I've had some comments, people, criticizing me for saying that ZT has lockup issues. They say it's just, kind of a blanket statement, stuff like that. Well, all I'm going on is just my experience with the four, count them, four frames that I had for my 560. All four of them caused lockup issues. And I've had several of my subscribers tell me they had the exact same issues with theirs. So, yeah, if you got one that works just fine, that's great. I'm just saying, they're not all great like a lot of people think. People do have issues with them, the older models. Now, a lot of that was because the blades, the blade tang was ground at a weird angle. You know, it just comes up, it just comes into lock geometry, part of the knife making. And, you know, Strider had a bad problem with that for several years, and they, recent years, kind of fixed it. And I think ZT is starting to do the same thing. I've noticed that on some of their newer models, like the DLC black-coated version of the 0560, the black wash version of the 0560, the carbon fiber version with the compound blade, or the composite blade. A lot of those I'll notice on lockup, like the old post pictures of lockup. I noticed that on a lot of those, the lock geometry is a lot different. The blade tang is not ground at such a steep angle. So I think they have fixed their lockup issues recently. I'm just talking about the old ones, the first few thousand serial numbered 0560 and 561s. But I'm also going by ZT. ZT told me themselves, well, ZT, you know, a representative at ZT told me that out of the 80 0560s that he tested, all of them had blade play. So, like I said, either he doesn't know what he's talking about, or, you know, theirs were just really that bad. So, let's check the edge. It's kind of it feels really sharp. Like, is there any paperwork for this? I have a little piece of magazine paper in here. It's just kind of, it's crinkled up, so that's kind of funny. On this piece of paper, it shows, you know, the Kershaw Thermite and some of the other Kershaws. That's pretty cool. Alright, anyway, this little knife magazine is very appropriate. So like I said, it's crinkled paper, so let's see if it will even cut, but yeah, it's not going to cut the crinkled paper. Huh, does that have a burr? No, maybe it's just not necessarily that sharp. Yeah, that edge has some hang-ups on it. Yeah. Has some edge issues going on there. Let's see if I can feel anything. Yeah, it just feels like the edge, like the very apex of the edge down here, is blunted. Sorry, I'm looking off camera to see if I can see anything. It looks kind of like a roll in the edge or something. I'm not sure. I'll fix it. You know, you guys know me. I'll sharpen it and strop it up. But anyway, yeah, I did want to give you my first impressions of this knife. I've gotten a couple of other things in the mail recently that I'll make a video on. Like I said, I've been preoccupied lately, and but don't worry, I'll get around to doing it. But I wanted to show you guys this knife because there's not a lot of videos on it, and I think this is going to be the next biggest hit because everybody loved the 0560 line when that came out. Everybody wanted it. My gosh, it was because it was the affordable Hinderer. But, well, it wasn't that affordable. It was half the price of a normal Hinderer, buying it from Rick himself. So, you know, everybody was flipping out over it. No pun intended, because it's a flipper. Anyway, so everybody was trying to get one. But it was still alienating a lot of people because it was still, you know, $260 when they came out. It's pretty expensive. Now you can get them for like $210 on Amazon. Sometimes you can get them for $200 shipped on Amazon. Just depends. But it's still kind of pricey. This, yeah, it's scaled down. It still has the Elmax steel. No, it doesn't have titanium, but in my opinion, this is better because it's not going to wear in. It's not going to stick. It's not going to have blade play. You know, it doesn't have bearings, but if you watch Iceman's video, his is very smooth. It flips beautifully. It does just have regular phosphor bronze bushings. So no, you're not getting the same quality of materials necessarily, but you're still getting excellent performance. So what's better, form or function? You know, like I said, the ZT-0560 may have things that make it function, make it seem like it functions better, but yeah, maybe it's smoother. The titanium looks prettier. You can do more things to pimp it. You know, it's higher quality, whatnot. But functionality-wise, this works just the same. So, all right, I will give you guys an update once I de-assist it. Like I said, I don't have the tools to do it right now, or I would. So stay tuned for future videos on that, and stay tuned for updates on this knife. I'll continue to do updates on it, because like I said, it is a fairly new knife. I'm sure some of you guys would love to hear some more about it. So, just one real quick, you know, another size comparison. Actually, a size comparison real quick. I gotta hurry because my battery's about to die. This is the R.J. Martin collaboration with Kershaw, the Groove. You see, the Groove is actually bigger, slightly, than the ZT. Slightly, but roughly around the same size. This is another great knife. Completely manual, but it's extremely smooth. So I love my Groove. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions on this knife, just drop them in the comments box, and definitely try to get your hands on one of these. This is an excellent budget knife. About half the price of a normal 0560. So you get this 560, half the price of a Hinderer, you're getting this half the price of a 560. So it's a great alternative. So, all right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay sharp, and God bless. Sherman614. Peace.